Hi everyone, today you're going to learn Blender. Blender is a 3D modeling software. When you create a new file, you're going to get something that will look like this. This is a 3D object, and it basically is something that exists in a virtual 3D space. So here are the basic navigation controls. So orbiting around is the center mouse. Holding shift on your keyboard and clicking and dragging the middle mouse button will allow you to pan up or down or left or right. And if you scroll your mouse at an object, you'll zoom in. If you see up here, you have a scene, right? And I have a cube. If I select on it, it will select the cube. Sometimes you'll get lost. You're like, I have no idea where anything is. You can go up here, click on the cube, go over here to view, and go to frame selected, and it will bring that thing back into view. Up blue, green is sort of forward and backward, and red is side to side. However, you can orbit or rotate around things using your middle mouse button. That's why you need a 3-finger mouse. You can move things using this little object called a gizmo. And there's the move function, which when you grab the blue goes up or down. If you grab it from the middle, you can kind of go in any arbitrary angle, but that's a little tough because sometimes you'll think you're in one place and it will actually put you in another. So I always go along these axes when I move it. And then you have a rotate, which works the same way. So if I want to rotate along the red axis, I grab the red one. The green one rotates on that axis. And if I grab the white circle on the outside, it sort of does it arbitrarily. And scaling is the same thing. So if you want to stretch something out, you would pull one axis one way or the other. And again, if you grab the white with the scale tool, it will do everything uniformly. So the inner or the outer white circle. You also have 3 different modes that we're going to use. The object mode, which is up here. That moves things around the space. Edit mode means that you can actually edit the object and use things like X-ray or textured view. And then there's the sculpt mode, which changes all of the tools over here on the side, and you can do things like stretch and move the object around in space. So we're going to use some of those things to actually sculpt some of these objects. Undo is just like in any program, Control Z, Shift Control Z. The gizmo sometimes will hide and it needs to be blue. Sometimes you'll need to click the arrow and go with the default or check on or off the move, rotate, or select tool. So sometimes you'll select it and nothing will happen. Just remember that sometimes you'll need to go back and tell Blender you want to be in one of these selection modes. Object mode, again, moves the stuff around the space. Also, be aware that, and one of the easiest things to forget is when you're trying to move an object, sometimes you'll be in something like edit mode. Maybe you selected a vertice or an anchor point or an edge. That's the things that make up an object like this, and then you grab the move tool and it just moves that point. That's what a 3D object is made out of. Let me make it wireframe. It's made out of these edges. This is like a hollow box. Those are called vertices, and then there's of course the edges. You can select them individually up here. So if I want to select a face, I will select that one. If I want to select an edge like that and move that edge around, I have to be in edge selection mode. Or if I want to select a vertice, one of these anchor points, I got to move it around that way. You can see that I can't select a face until I'm back over here in viewport shading. Don't worry about these other ones. This is one that just has a light on it, and this one has texture mapping. We're not going to use those two. So the two that you'll function between are the wireframe and the shader.